Roll up, step right up. Welcome to the circus of Joshua versus Paul. Sorry. Forgive me. Let's get it right now. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Remember Anthony Joshua, that guy who won the Olympic gold? He became heavyweight champion of the world, became two-time heavyweight champion of the world. It was so nice, he had to do it twice. Remember that guy? Remember that guy that, yeah, the guy who told us that he wanted to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Remember that guy? That the fight with Joshua and Tyson Fury was going to happen, and Joshua was asking for it. The guy was going to fight Deontay Wilder. Remember that guy? But now we're going to fight Jake Paul. So the first thing I find quite alarming about this whole situation is that it's on the poster. Joshua is the B side, not the A side. And this is why I said to you before, boxing fans, that we're in a new era. Legacy means nothing. You're Olympic gold medalist. You are two-time former world heavyweight champion. What does that mean? Nothing. Because you, my friend, are the B side. For all your achievements in boxing, for all the ABA and the Olympic gold medal and the championship of the world, it means to a guy who started his career in Disney or Nickelodeon or wherever he was, and has worked his way into now becoming the face of Netflix for boxing. Yeah. And you, Anthony Joshua, are the B side. That's why it's called Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. People around, they go, oh, as soon as Anthony hits Jake Paul, he's going to go over. Well, yeah, maybe when Anthony Joshua started his career, that may have been the case. But let it be known, we're not at the start of Anthony Joshua's career. And let it be known, I don't think in the career of Anthony Joshua he's ever knocked anybody out really good in the first couple of rounds. I think that's a myth. The guys he was knocking out in the first couple of rounds were guys he's meant to knock out in the first couple of rounds, but he didn't knock anybody out of anyone decent in the first couple of rounds. And it also has to be said, if you charge Anthony Joshua and you throw punches at him, he doesn't throw punches back. This is a fact. Look at the fact that when he fought Andy Ruiz, which I predicted he was going to get beat by. Can you believe? I believe it. Remember, I still go by this whole thing that when people talked about Joshua having this lifetime contract, which Uncle Bashir referred to as a slave contract. He's got a lifetime contract with Matchroom. Basically, lifetime means that they own him. You box when and where and how. Basically. I go back to my friend, the former world heavyweight champion, Bermain Stavern. And he said to me about Joshua fighting Miami before. He said, you don't fight in Miami. If you're coming from the UK, you don't come from Miami and box in the UK. Box in Miami. You don't come from the UK and box straight in Miami. Of all the places to go and box, you don't box in Miami. If you're from the United States, it's different. But you don't come from the UK and box in Miami. Why? Because there's too many distractions. And he knew before Joshua fought Ruiz, there was going to be problems. He was training in Miami. And we're back in Miami again. And we're back in America again, where it's the first time Joshua got his defeat. So if Joshua has anxiety issues, that's going to come back. He's going to remember him getting knocked out by Andy Ruiz in America. You know, Joshua hasn't come back to America since he got starched by Ruiz. Remember that, right? He's come back here again. And Jake Paul There's more future with Jake Paul than there is Anthony Joshua. What, Jake Paul's 29, 30? Joshua's 35, 36? Josh is at the end of his career. I mean, he's not like one of these guys. He's not like a George Foreman where he's very durable, big puncher, goes full punishment and can fire back. Joshua's a guy, when you hit him on the chin, he goes over. It's been proven. And it's not like Jake Paul can't punch. So you ask yourself the question, is it worth more money for Joshua to knock Jake Paul out, or does it make more money for Jake Paul to knock Anthony Joshua out? Think about it a second. More to the point, if Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is not going to happen, or Tyson Fury is looking at another Usyk fight, and Joshua's not on the horizon, who's Joshua going to fight that's going to get that 70 million? Who would he fight? A rematch with Dubois? Is that going to bring in 70 million? I don't think so. And why? Dubois not even champion anymore. He's not going to fight Usyk again, so you can forget that one. So where's he going to go next? Pulev? That's not going to happen. Who's going to care about him fighting Pulev? That would have been a smart thing to do. If it were me, I'd be pushing him to go and fight Pulev, so he can claim to be a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. But there's no money in that. There's no money in that. And look, if we are sitting here with the mindset I had, right? You now have to change your mindsets, people. I predicted this circus years ago. I told you about boxing becoming a circus. You all didn't take me seriously. It's happening now. And Jake Paul beating Anthony Joshua positions him nicely to be the face of boxing, the guy that beat Anthony Joshua, the Olympic gold medalist, the unified two-time heavyweight champion of the world, makes Jake Paul legitimate. Makes him legit. Then he can go for a world title fight. I don't think the Canelo fight can happen, but the logical money is on Jake Paul. If Joshua does knock out Jake Paul, what does that do for business? It's mental, isn't it? What does it do for business? And questions now you've got to ask yourself, which I never would ask before, is what's the mental state of Anthony Joshua? What's the physical state of Anthony Joshua? And here's another one to add to the equation. I heard, don't know how this is true, Joshua weighs, his last fight was 252 pounds. According to what I've heard, he's meant to come in and weigh no more on fight night than 245 pounds. So there's a weight clause for Anthony Joshua at heavyweight. A weight clause. I mean, this must be a meme, right? Somebody's trying to be funny with me, right? If they're being funny, ha funny, great. But if this is serious, and Jake, yeah, I'm about to call him Jake Claus instead of Jake Paul. If Jake Paul does that and has a clause in there where Joshua cannot, it could be two clauses. Clause number one is, if you hit me to knock me out, you lose all your money. Clause number one. Clause number two, you have to come in at a certain weight, which will dehydrate you before you get in the ring. So, if we look at the Mike Tyson fight, Mike Tyson should have knocked Jake Paul out in the first round. If you look at the way Mike was positioning himself, he should have knocked Jake Paul in the first round. He rocked him with a jab, he got to step in, and Jake Paul grabs him. What does that mean? And he whispers in Mike's ear, you're blowing the bag. So, we've seen it before. We've seen the play before. So they could do the same play of Anthony Joshua. And he can call himself the legend killer, from one legend, Mike Tyson, to Anthony Joshua. You say what now? I beat Anthony Joshua. I beat a legit heavyweight. So I'm telling you all, it's not good. It's not good. And whoever made it, whoever negotiated that fight, yeah, for it to be Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. So the two-time heavyweight champion of the world, an Olympic champion, ends up being second, B. So this is the retirement. This is the retirement fund for Joshua, and this probably, in terms of the investment or the lifetime contract that Joshua's in, this is the payoff, because he can get knocked out and then run off into the sunset and retire, and not come back and box again. There's no legitimacy left in boxing, mate. Forget that. I'm like you. I'm like you. I'm talking about the legitimacy of the sport is gone. It's finished. It's not about that. It's about taking names and ruining legacies. That's what it's about. This era. This era. That's what it's like. Forget it. Look, if they can allow Anthony Joshua to get in the ring with a guy who's not won. He's not won a British title. He's not won a Commonwealth title. He's not won a European title. He's not won a world title. Right? This is Jake Paul, right? He won't win a British title because he's not British, but you know what I mean? You get a USBA title then. He's not done it. Much like Conor Benn. He didn't win a British title, didn't win a Commonwealth title, didn't win a European title, didn't win a world title, didn't go in the Olympics. But he's won 2 fights now in a stadium. So now you all talk to me and talk to me about legacy. Legacy means nothing in this era. I'm sorry, it means absolutely nothing. And if you're caught up in legacy, bit of this, legacy goes down the drain as far as I'm concerned. So you can forget about, once you can forget about the legacy thing and think like these people are making, they're into entertainment and making money. Not interested in legacy. Legacy might not make money. Entertainment makes money. What puts bums on seats? This will put bums on seats. Why? Because a lot of people tune in to hope Jake Paul gets knocked out. And then if Jake Paul renders Joshua unconscious, and who's back and who is investing in Joshua now? If it's the same, the Saudis were backing Joshua before, right? They were invested in Joshua before, right? They need to get their money back, because if Joshua didn't beat Dubois, they might need to get their money back. Joshua may not want to fight anymore. So he may have got knocked out to get himself out of the contract, but still realizing he still has to fight. So he has to go back in there again and finish making the money as part of the investment plan to walk away. I don't know, but nothing's cut and dried. One thing's for sure, one thing's for certain. If it was that cut and dried and simple and logical, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua should not be in the same ring. They really, this fight shouldn't be happening. If you're being logical. On what basis is Jake Paul in the ring? When you talk about what do you bring to the table, the thing he brings to the table is Netflix. What else does Jake Paul bring to the table? So you tell me, what does he bring to the table? Joshua can say, I brought belts to the table. At one point, you could say Joshua was the face of British boxing until Tyson Fury took over. So, this is my point. I don't know, guys, but I will put no money whatsoever on Anthony Joshua for this fight. No money. I wouldn't. I don't think the fight's one of those fights that you can. I don't know, but if it's true that he has to lose weight, and if it's true in the contract it says if you knock me out you're getting no money, like he did with Mike, where Mike had to literally bite the glove so he couldn't throw punches, because for all his career he's been taught to throw punches with intent, and now you're fighting a guy that's going to punch you, but you can't punch him back. We've got a lot to think about, boxing fans. Boxing is no longer about hit and not get hit. Boxing is, if the money's right, if the price is right, you'll get hit as many times as possible. Right. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But I know that people automatically, when this fight is made, people saying, oh, if Joshua loses, it's a fixed fight. If Joshua wins, well, he's supposed to win. If Joshua loses, it's not good. If Joshua wins, it's not good. He shouldn't have fought Jake Paul in the first place. If the fight goes past a minute, it's not good. If the fight goes beyond 3 minutes, it's not good. The only thing is, fans forget Joshua's mindset. Joshua's going to walk over there and poleaxe this guy, right? Like he did in Ngannou. But again, even the Ngannou fight is questionable because, again, you look at Ngannou, he was there physically, but he said he was drugged. And I've never seen Ngannou look so bad. That's what he said. So, don't know. Ngannou embarrassed Tyson Fury in the first time, right? When they fought. So then he was brought back for Joshua to deal with him. You notice how, since that fight, you're not seeing Ngannou in boxing anymore. Have you noticed? He's been put to one side. That wasn't the plan. I'm sure that wasn't the plan. Ngannou wanted to stay around longer in boxing. And what he was doing to Tyson Fury was not part of the script. I can assure you of that. So they had to get rid of Ngannou quick. Because he wasn't part of the system. He wasn't part of the plan. So it would seem. So, I don't know. Like to know what you think in the boxing, from the boxing world. What you think of the fight. What you think of who's going to win the fight. Why the fight was made. And who's got more to lose financially. Because it all comes down to money. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching.